Welcome to ESPN College Football presented by McDonald's. Happy Thanksgiving from Montgomery, Alabama, the 100th Turkey Day Classic, this great in-state rivalry, and oh yeah, the food, the fellowship indeed. Tuskegee taking on Alabama State here in this very special in-state rivalry. Going back to 1901 when these two teams first met. Tuskegee, the winningest HBCU program all time, they have the series lead over the Hornets. As we say hello and what's up, fam, with the former Howard University and NFL quarterback Jay Walker. I'm Tiffany Green. We hope that you are having a great time at home. And Jay,
time out.
Yeah,
I need one of those turkey legs. I need one of those turkey legs. Fine, that I need that turkey leg in my life. Now let's talk some football.
Please run my partner that turkey leg before the end of the broadcast. Jay, this is such a special time here in the capital city of Alabama. But when you think about a Division II Tuskegee team going against Alabama State out of the SWAC, this is one of the oldest HBCU rivalries in the country.
And you can understand how special it is. If you think about it, for years, this served as the official homecoming for Alabama State University. They wanted all their friends to be in town, all their fans, all their family. And one thing I love about this game down here, you're going to get a good, hard-fought football game. They're going to play some football, and they're going to go home, and they're going to eat some good grub because the food is phenomenal.
Well, taking a look at the task at hand for Tuskegee, they've had about a 2.5-week layoff since their last game against Miles on November 9th, the SIAC champions. And for Aaron James, an alumnus of the university, what does his group do well to give them a chance to win today?
Well, to be a Division II football team, you have to have certain things to pull off the upset against a Division I team. And fortunately for them, it's going to come down to the red zone. Their offense is super productive whenever they get the ball in the red zone. They don't hurt themselves, and defensively, you see it there, fourth in Division II at keeping their opponents out of the end zone. The red zone will be the key for the Tuskegee Tigers today.
We will see from Alabama State an outstanding defense led by a former two-time SWAC Defensive Player of the Year at Alabama State, their head coach now, Eddie Robinson Jr.
And Eddie Robinson was a fantastic NFL linebacker as well, and you would expect his team to take on his personality, which is going to be defense is going to be the key. And if you want to have a great defense, you have to have some star power, particularly on the defensive line, and for them, it's number 11, Traquan Thomas, the junior from Orlando, Florida, is an absolute terror. Great opportunity to become an All-American and an NFL pro. He's got to be active today with that hyper energy that he brings to the table.
And the mighty marching Hornets in the stands here in this beautiful stadium, ASU Stadium, and Robert McMinn, one of the great returners, set to receive it. Tuskegee won the toss. They will elect to defer to the second half, so Alabama State will get the ball first. The Golden Tigers, located in Tuskegee, Alabama, about 40 miles from where we are, and even 500 on the season. For Alabama State, 6-5 overall on the year. And this one goes back into the end zone for a touchback. Well, this Alabama State team was a preseason favorite out of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and they have gone through a lot of changes and turnover from that quarterback position, given the fact that they had a couple of guys coming in for a QB battle, but since then, five different quarterbacks have gone under center and helped to run this offense for the Hornets.
The starting quarterback in this game, who's got the most starts on the season, Kareem Key, he was a wide receiver to begin the season, so that tells you how decimated they've been at the quarterback position. But fortunately for Alabama State, Kareem Key is a freshman beyond his years. He plays with a lot of poise, does not turn the ball over, and gives the offense an opportunity to allow the defense to take over and win ball games.
Well, you hear the Tuskegee band playing as well. They just finished up the Marching Crimson Piper Band, and here we go on this Thanksgiving Day. First play from scrimmage, a pass out of the hand of Key to Asa Gregg. Gregg, the 6'2 sophomore out of Waldorf, Maryland. We talked about Kareem Key, and boy, did he have to grow up in a hurry. The freshman out of Adamsville, Alabama, but really in his second season in college, started out elsewhere before coming here as the carry, and a flag coming out in the process. So our SWAC officiating crew, Jarvis Walker,
foul. Face mask. Defense. Number 99. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
That goes against Terrence Mays, and Mays is one of the big playmakers up front. Another look at it here.
Right there from his nose tackle position, and hand just kind of gets right on the helmet. Good call by the back judge. He's called that there.
So already in Golden Tiger territory, and the handoff in a small run ahead. A short gain of 2 yards for A.J. Gates Jr.
And you wonder what the offensive plan will be for offensive coordinator Chris Barnett when you face this Tuskegee defense. You figure you're the bigger team, so you want to run the football, but the way to beat Tuskegee is through the airways. They give up almost 240 yards per game passing. So although you want to show that you're the more physical team because you're a step up in competition level, I think the right arm of Kareem Key is going to have to make some throws for this Hornet offense.
And we saw him make his first career start in the Magic City Classic against another in-state rival, Alabama A&M, just last month. And, you know, he did a good job managing the offense. They have a lot of faith in him. He came in as a wide receiver, Jay, before having to be moved to that quarterback position, which he played back in high school. Here on third down, Key back to pass, has a man wide open in the middle of the field. It's complete and into the end zone. A touchdown of 45 yards. And Jones, Jalen Jones on the reception.
He said the way you have to beat Tuskegee is you have to throw the football against him. And Kareem Key does a great job on this little 4 vertical route right up the seam, goes untouched. For the touchdown score by Jalen Jones.
And right there on the money from Key, and opening possession, and Alabama State is on the board. How about Kareem Key finding his man wide open?
We've seen the freshman grow ball before our eyes, and he's no longer a wide receiver. He's a quarterback. Let's take a look at how they got that last scoring drive. A little football one-on-one. It all starts with the eyesight and the vision. Look at the safety's vision where his eyes are, and he does not even pay attention to the wide receiver running straight down the seam for a touchdown. You got to do a better job of eye discipline. Looking in the backfield, somebody just streaked right past me. You got to turn around, at least reroute that guy.
4 plays, 75 yards in under 2 minutes, and Alabama State strikes first. Well, Kareem Key, we talked about the redshirt freshman, had to come in and quickly take over the QB duties, and here, kick out of bounds on the kickoff. So Tuskegee will have great field position to start at the 35-yard line, and an opportunity to introduce you to the Golden Tigers quarterback after we get the call from Jarvis Walker.
Free kick out of bounds. Kick team. By rule, the ball will be placed 30 yards from the spot of the kick. First down.
With a junior out of Detroit, Michigan, Raekwon Beal is the quarterback to lead the Golden Tigers. You see his numbers on the season, and how can he be most effective here today against Alabama State?
Out of those numbers, first thing that jumped out, he's big. The 6'5", 225-pound quarterback, tall, he's got presence and size, does a good job with the touchdown interception ratio. He's not a runner, though, so he's got to really pick apart this defense from the pocket, and the key is going to be his offensive line keeping him upright.
Here go the Golden Tigers. Johnny Morris on the carry, trying to get to the outside. Traquan Thomas couldn't bring him down. Morris still on his feet, spinning, and he's still going out near the 50-yard line, just brought down about the 49. Excellent run for 14 yards.
I mean, this is just all effort right here. They talked about how much of a motivator that Johnny Morris can be. Well, he's a leader by example. Great job of setting the tone early on the first play from scrimmage.
They hand it off once again, going to that left side. Johnny Moore is looking for some room, picks up a decent set of yardage, 4 yards on first down, brought down by Rico Dozier.
It looks like Tuskegee not intimidated by Alabama State. The defense of Alabama State, one of the best in the country, they are 11th overall in stopping the run. They only give up 103 yards rushing per game, but Tuskegee seems like they're going to try and attack this defense.
Well, one of the things that Aaron James mentioned was we have to establish a run and be effective with it early on. They've been successful. 18 yards picked up on the ground thus far, 2nd and 6 inside here, Hornets territory. And it's Beal with the man, one-on-one, just overthrows him. You saw Amon Scarborough come over the strong safety on coverage, and it was Gabriel Garmin who was the intended target.
Little stutter go. Good job of getting behind the defensive back. A little bit more accurate throw. Might have had a chance, tight window to get in there, but as you mentioned, Scarborough coming over from a safety position for over-the-top help.
Quick look there at Aaron James in his 2nd season leading the Golden Tigers, and now on 3rd and 6, it's Morris again in the backfield as Tuskegee want to keep this drive going. You see their numbers on 3rd down conversion, 7th in the SIAC, just over 40%. Beal has time, delivers, and right at the mark is going to be important where they spot this, maybe a yard or 2 short as Garmin comes up with a reception.
Go for it. You know, dictates the fact that where you are on the field right now, you've had success moving the ball, no negative plays. I think it would be wise for Aaron James to give his offense a chance to stay on the field.
Instead, he's going to play it conservative here, Jay, on 4th and 1. And he brings on Lorcan Ryans, and in Lorcan we trust is what he told us before. Special teams has to be special, and Lorcan has been that throughout this season. And so an opportunity to try to pin the Hornets deep inside their own territory. Ryans puts it up off the side of his foot, and it bounces out just around the 26 or
Lorcan
27.
let him down.
Yeah.
Lorcan we trust let him down. And Coach James maybe going to think about, should have gone for it. Jay Walker recommended that you go for it.
Well, Aaron James, who played his college ball at Tuskegee, the school founded in 1881 by Booker T. Washington, better than 3,000 students. They got a new president, Dr. Mark Brown, who we had the opportunity to meet before the game. Alice Coachman, the first black woman to receive an Olympic gold medal. Lionel Richie and the Commodores among the notable alum, along with Tom Joyner and Daniel Chappie James, the first 4-star general, the Air Force. Of course, Tuskegee Airmen, you hear that quite often here on the carry. That's Daquan Kinsey for Alabama State. A couple yards on the carry for Daquan Kinsey. So you see Golden Tiger shake it up a little bit. That's Malik Moore, the linebackers. He's trying to trudge it off for this Alabama State team coming off a win just this past weekend against Prairie View A&M. Didn't put up a lot of points. It was field goal fest, 9-6 over the Panthers. Here on 2nd and 8, rolling out and wide open once again. This time it's Robert McMahon. He's a great specialist speedster indeed. 73 yards, another huge play for this Hornets offense. And right now, Alabama State making it look easy, carving up this Tuskegee secondary.
I mean, the easiest throw you're going to make. Guy goes in motion, nobody runs with him. They're just blowing coverages in the secondary of Tuskegee. Numbers don't lie. This is why they give up so many yards in the air, allowing explosive plays from the secondary.
Well, Brandon Gilliam on to attempt the extra point. It's through. So 14 straight points put up by Alabama State in less than 5 minutes, and a great start for Eddie Robinson Jr.'s crew.
You're going to make it this easy. They'll say, I'll take it. We talk about the speedster McMahon, but right now it's all about the quarterback, Kareem Key.
ESPN College Football is presented by McDonald's.
Back here at the state capitol in Alabama, Montgomery to be exact. And Alabama State with a 14-0 lead in under 5 minutes. They just jumped out quickly. What did you see in this one?
Lack of communication. Here's why. These two players right here, they've got to talk. You've got 3 people to guard that side of the field. They don't communicate. The motion comes across, and all of a sudden you've got 3 guys going against 2 guys. The linebacker went in, just schematic. There's no communication with the secondary, leading to wide open, explosive plays for the Alabama State passing game.
Well, good signs early on for this Hornets group who wants to finish the season strong. Currently second in the SWAC standings. And trying to put together and keep another winning season under Eddie Robinson Jr. Alabama State, who won this game last year 41-3 convincingly, and Tuskegee's got to try to figure something out. A little pooch kick there onside, and right there at the 50-yard line, trying to catch everybody off guard, and Alabama State recovers it. So another look at it here. Brandon Gilliam just kind of, boom, it goes, it's 10 yards onside, and then he is the one who recovers it.
And that's scouting your opponent. Kind of reminds me of when Pat McAfee did that same type of kicker, called his own number on the onside kick.
And was recovered by the kicking
And
team.
they knew that going in. And also, think about it, this is like a rivalry game, but if you're Alabama State, people think you're supposed to blow out Tuskegee every year. That has not always been the case, but Eddie Robinson knows what it's like to play against Tuskegee. He was 4-0. He's trying to eliminate hope early for Tuskegee, which is what you have to do. That's why I was surprised Tuskegee didn't go for it on 4th down against Alabama State.
Well, look at the numbers here today for Kareem Key. You couldn't ask for a better start. 133 yards. He's completed every pass, and this one, another solid game from Jalen Jones, who already has a 45-yard touchdown reception. This one a gain of 9.
And I like the play call by Chris Barnett. Don't run the football. If they have a weakness in the secondary, then go ahead and try to exploit the secondary. Haven't done a good job of covering, and now they do a poor job of tackling. Right now, it's kind of pick your play if you're Chris Barnett, the offensive coordinator, but just make sure it's passing plays.
First season as the OC for the Hornets, and he's got a lot in his tool bag and a lot to work with here now that he's gotten comfortable with this group. Handed off, strong run ahead, picks up the first down. That's Marcus Harris, the second, who picks up the necessary yardage. And so, when you think about this Alabama State team and just kind of what they've had to adjust to, you know, what have you seen in terms of their resiliency to have 5 different people as your quarterback?
It makes me think that they were as good as advertised, because they were projected to win the SWAC East. One of the few negative plays we've seen from, the only negative play we've seen from Alabama State so far in this game, but they were projected to compete in the SWAC East. But you lose that many quarterbacks, and for you to even come out with a winning record says that this is a good football team, just had a tough 2024 campaign, not what they expected.
Tackle for a loss there. Loss of 10 on that last play from Asaya Wells.
2nd and 20. Should be done, right? I'm going to say there's a pretty good chance that Alabama State converts and gets a first down.
From what we've seen thus far in the effectiveness through the air.
This is the cover 2 in the middle of the field. It's too open right now.
Key looking, has plenty of time. Everyone covered downfield and just has to throw it away. So good job by the Tuskegee defense to force the first incompletion, and now 3rd and long here for Alabama State.
Yeah, and they were fortunate because Alabama State only had a 3-man route, meaning 3 receivers that went out. They went to a max protection. Middle of the field was open, but a little hold right there, grabbing them close. Good job by the secondary for Tuskegee on that play.
So remember, when they converted their only 3rd down of the game, it was for a 45-yard touchdown pass and catch to Jalen Jones. Let's see what they do here. Had Robert McMahon open, just missed him. on the post, and it's 4th down. So Noah Holton was in the vicinity as well, but not able to convert here.
Look at the middle field. I mean, that's a cover 2. That's wide open. You got to be able to make that throw. Right there, just one of the misfires from Kareem Key. McMinn was open, and accurate throw probably takes it for another touchdown. Give credit to the Tuskegee defense, though, finally getting the stop after Alabama State recovered an onside kick.
And the fact, too, that they weren't able to net points. Can Tuskegee do something when they get the ball back? First punt of the day for the Hornets. And on the return, Stith and Justin Stith. After that 36-yard punt, a short return. Well, Alabama State, you mentioned, located here in Montgomery, founded in 1867. Dr. Quentin T. Ross Jr., president, they've seen record enrollment for their freshman class, better than 5,400 total students. 2 Chainz attended here, Reggie Barlow, the football greats Ralph Abernathy, along with Fred Shuttlesworth, some civil rights activists, and Ricky Smiley, the comedian and radio announcer as well. But you liked what about 2 Chainz? When we were looking it up, what did you learn about 2 Chainz?
Played basketball here at Alabama State for a little bit. We knew he was a tall guy. How about Dr. Quentin Ross also went here along with the head coach Eddie Robinson, so they go way back.
On the carry and swung down, Johnny Morris picks up 3. Jakeem Fletcher in on the tackle.
Now's the time to see if you can get Raekwon Beal going against this Black Swarm defense. You talk about a dominating unit on the field this season in SWAC competition.
9 different categories, Jay, that they lead the SWAC. It's been dominating indeed and among the best in FCS. On 2nd and 7, here's Beal looking underneath and just dropped in and out of the hands of Johnny Morris. The right read there, just the check down from Beal, but Morris couldn't hold on to it.
And Morris, we've seen him with a great run to start the game. And there are going to be plays like this where you have to just come up and make a play. You don't know if the protection is going to be able to hold up all day. Beal moves in the pocket. Nice soft throw. Got to make that catch if you're Johnny Morris.
Aaron James, who was an outstanding quarterback for the Golden Tigers, most wins of any Tuskegee quarterback in his day, won some SIAC championships, 3 to be exact, including that HBCU National Championship back in 2000. He wants to see his quarterback deliver, and right there, in and out of the hands of Reggie Brigman. Brigman, who has been one of the playmakers for this group this year, just couldn't come up with it.
They baited the quarterback. And I'm not going to put that on the wide receiver. That's on Beal. They actually thought the blitz was coming. It was a zone blitz that they brought back. You'll see number 1 drop back on the right side of your screen. He's there. They want you to make that throw. Number 5 was there, threw the ball hot when it wasn't necessarily a hot read. Bringing on a 4th down punt.
So a couple of receivers back for the Hornets as Lorcan Ryans prepares to punt from his own 10-yard line here on 4th down. And this one from Ajay Harrell, and Harrell has plenty of space. He's still going, and Harrell is swung down. But an outstanding return, and the Hornets fans love it here inside the stadium. A 35-yard return for Harrell.
Yeah, that was kind of a unique setup. They had 2 return men deep, and take a look at number 87, Robert McMinn. He's like, I'm going to be your lead blocker. I'll get out there, follow me to the hole. You just focus on the catch. Good special teams play from Alabama State.
So Key, who had gotten off to a hot start after scoring 2 touchdowns in their first 2 possessions. The punt, their first time or last time out. You see the numbers outgaining Tuskegee 138-26 in total yardage on the carry. That's DeQuan Quincy, the senior out of Abbeville, Alabama, transferred over from Clark Atlanta, was an outstanding running back there, and then made the step up from Division II to Division I.
I think it's been a good move for him and able to bring a little bit of that pop you need in the backfield. Well put together, and he knows what it's like to play Tuskegee. Clark Atlanta's in the same conference as Tuskegee, so he knows what to expect against these Tigers, these Golden Tigers.
Eric Horn in motion.
Open.
And open again, and each time they get him, and Eric Horn is in for the touchdown from 20 yards out. And boy, right now, Kareem Key is cooking.
It's like, I feel like the Tuskegee defense doesn't know what a change call is or a slide call. Going across in formation, that's the guy that's in motion that you're letting go. Nobody's accounting for him. And that's the second time in this game we've seen this where somebody goes in motion, they get the football for a touchdown. Cannot happen.
And they may review this, Jay, because when you watch Eric Horn turn that corner and get his balance, he may have stepped out of bounds.
The ruling of a touchdown is under further review.
So they're going to take another look at it here, because even in real time, it looked to be very close. When we replayed it, it felt very much the same. From this angle, see, he turns right there.
Right there. Is that the 3-yard line? Maybe at the 3-yard line, but still another big play. And unless they've got a better angle, can't be 100% sure that he stepped out of bounds. But as you said, very close.
Vernon Brakefield, the replay official. And again, based on the last angle and then this angle that we're seeing here, very difficult to tell unless they have one from an opposing view. I don't know if there is enough visual evidence to overturn the touchdown called on the field.
I'm with you on that. Close, but not enough to say he definitely went out of bounds. But if we look once again, just coming out the backfield, nobody goes with them. They're not communicating in the defensive secondary for Tuskegee.
Whether this stands or not, as we are awaiting the call, we've got to find out what Ken Watson can do, the defensive coordinator, to try to stop it. Here's the call.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown stands.
As we expected, Jay, but this is something that Ken Watson has to try to figure out if they're going to stay in this ball game.
Yeah, you know, and those are the basics of playing football. And right now what it is, you have to say just go to zone coverage, but they're blowing zone coverages. They're blowing man coverages. They're just not on the same page. And it just shows you how critical it is to communicate in the defensive secondary. One person doing their own thing can mess it up for the bunch.
The extra point attempt is up, and it's good. And Alabama State scoring on their first 3 out of 4 drives here in the 100th Turkey Day Classic. Eric Horn making quick work of the Golden Tigers on that last one. Texas A&M, another huge rivalry game, one of the longest standing here. Alabama State hosting Tuskegee. Great return here from the Golden Tigers as Justin Stith with a 19-yard return. Kept it going.
Can I say this about the Saturday games?
Okay.
I've never thought I'd say this.
Uh-huh.
I'm very interested out of those games you mentioned. Guess which one I'm really interested in? Tennessee Vanderbilt.
Why
Because
not?
Vanderbilt beat Bama.
Yep.
Vanderbilt, if they beat Tennessee, they'll knock them out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
That could have some playoff implications. So watch that game there. I'm curious to see. And that game's being played in Nashville, too.
Mm-hmm. The Commodores ready to anchor down.
Anchor down.
1st and 10, best starting field position for Tuskegee from their own 42-yard line. The handoff to Chase Sellers, and Sellers gets pushed out of bounds by James Burgess. Pickup of 6.
This is what I say in this game here. It's a little bit different. If you're Tuskegee, you're down by 21, but I still think you need to run the football. They came out trying to establish they could run the ball and had some success with it. If you make this a shootout just trying to pass, I think you're going to be in trouble. It'll be a longer day than it already is.
Here's Beal. The pass complete. And that's Garmin. Garmin, who has had a few targets here this afternoon, hauls it in. And the redshirt freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida, gives the Golden Tigers a first down.
One thing about Bill, when he's locked and loaded, he can get rid of that ball in a hurry. To be 6'5", 230, quick release as they change up the quarterback on cue.
Well, and what we heard from Harry Williams, the offensive coordinator, they like to switch things up. He loves the running back room, and Chase Sellers lining up Wildcat. He receives it, skirts through a couple of defenders. James Burgess picks up or knocks him down, but a first down picked up by Chase Sellers.
And we actually asked the offensive coordinator, Harry Williams, okay, who's your Wildcat guy? He said, any one of my running backs.
Yeah.
He'll put any running back in there to run the Wildcat formation, and we just saw one leave, and then another one steps up behind center.
I love how he referenced them as the Temptations. So anybody can take the lead role. Johnny Morris now at the Wildcat position. He receives it, the direct snap from center. And right up ahead, he's still moving the pile. But the first to get to him for the Hornets is LaPierre, and pick up a 4. So 2nd and 6 upcoming. But I like that reference. Do you appreciate that?
The Temptations, because
Yeah.
there are 4 Temptations, too,
You're
right?
right.
There were
Yeah.
4 of them. He's got 4 running backs that he likes to use. Johnny Morris, Ronald Spivey, Chase Sellers, Zena Bubala. So he'll distribute it within that running back room, and that's the strength of the team. If that's the strength of your group, give them the football. Why waste time with a quarterback handing it off?
Morris once again keeps it, bounces to the outside, and Johnny Morris, boy, when he can get to the edge, you've got to watch out. Gain of 13 yards, and Johnny Morris has been really aiding this run game.
I feel like I'm watching like Notre Dame back in the 20s, like Newt Rockney-style Notre Dame with the single back right there. Maybe got away with a hold on the twist move, but just giving the ball to the running back, and they're running sweep right and sweep left. Red Grange.
I see you flexing your football knowledge.
That's old school. Look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like a flag football formation with the quarterback, and they're running it.
Morris wasn't even expecting it, trying
Look
to
at
wait
the patience.
patiently, and does so, gets through, and another good run ahead. I mean, that might be good enough for a first down as LaPierre brings him down. So into the red zone, and just helping to carry the load here is Johnny Morris.
And look at the patience. Look, hold on to the ball, patient. Wait. Let me let my entourage set up for me and just get behind. Just pulling tackle.
I like that left guard, number 65, Sean Stitton, who helped to create that hole here. Another running back, this Zena Mulba, and Mulba out of the Wildcat formation now. And you got to like the variety.
Yeah.
Again, when you have a stable of running backs that you can go to.
You know, going back to the Temptations, you know, you got to let Otis sing. Everybody goes crazy when Otis drops that bass line, so they're letting all the running backs do it. And you can tell they have a little spark, they have a little fun, knowing that they're getting the direct snap.
Who's the David Ruffin of the group?
Johnny Morris.
Okay. Raekwon Beal back into the ball game. Under center here on 2nd and 8. From the Hornets' 11-yard line. The sweep off of Garmin, and right there quickly to get him was Deshaun Jackson, and Dasheen Jackson, the tackle for a loss of 2.
Yeah. On the jet sweep, the key is getting to the edge, and they just missed him on the edge, and that's a mental mistake. The most dangerous man in the block, they ran right by him and allowed Jackson to make a big tackle for a loss.
Under a minute to go here in the first quarter of the 100th Turkey Day Classic. Tuskegee driving, needing to pick up this first down, searching for points.
That's where they try to create chaos. You'll see 6 guys close to the line of scrimmage for Alabama State. None of them standing down. They want the confusion, and they get it as Tuskegee calls a timeout.
So they spend their first timeout of the half to discuss it. And so, Jay, in terms of strategy here, obviously Aaron James has been in these situations before, but now he's going to ask Raekwon Beal in this offense to try to convert here on 3rd down. what's Harry Williams going to draw up?
Can't run the ball, which is unfortunate. I wish they would have stayed with the running game, and we don't know what they've established passing-wise. We know they like to get the football to Gabriel Garmin, but he's not had success or an impact in this game right now. And I think the key is going to be this. They were running the ball very successfully down there, and then they got away from it. And I think what they need to do right now, the key is going to be figure out this protection. But once you figure out the protection, and you may have to go with the maximum protection so your quarterback feels secure, and tell them just pick a one-on-one matchup.
2-by-2, 4 wide receivers to the top of your screen, to the bottom.
7 guys on the line of scrimmage for Alabama State. They're all not coming, but you have to figure out who is.
Jackson is coming. In and out of the hands with Kenneth Law. That's a drop pass. He went the right place with the football, and Law couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, I mean, can't blame us on the quarterback. Another drop ball from Tuskegee. Catchable ball, not a perfect pass, but a catchable ball with an opportunity to make one guy miss and possibly get in the end zone. Missed opportunity.
Good leadership there from Beal going over to his wide receiver. Just saying, keep your head up. Now a 30-yard field goal attempt for Lorcan Ryans to try to net some points out of this drive for the Golden Tigers. The kick is up, and it's through. So Tuskegee gets their first points of the game and stopping the bleeding for the time being after Alabama State scored 21 unanswered to start the game.
They showed some signs where they've got a game plan, and Alabama State's going to have to make the adjustment how to go against this rushing attack from Tuskegee.
Checking out the Marching Crimson Piper Band under the direction of Dr. J. William Nichols.
All right, Tiff.
All right.
How about this? Get some football going. How about the latest HBCU power rankings? And I've never caught so much slack for my power rankings before, and I'll tell you why. Southern number 5, that's cool. Central number 4, possibly should have gotten the playoffs, did not. How about Big Blue, Tennessee State, the number 3 team? Jackson State 2, South Carolina State 1, fam on the bubble. These folks down here in the SWAC, oh, you just love me at. Why is Jackson State number 2? The athletic director called me up. Why are we number 2? We're going to prove you number 1. Prove you number 1, but they're called Jay's HBCU power rankings.
And Ajay Harrell is going to bring it out and then flip it over to Robert McMinn. McMinn getting over to the edge, tiptoeing down the sideline. Makes something out of it, gets to the 20-yard line. Now, Jay, when we've talked to coaches around the league and just throughout HBCU football, South Carolina State has come up multiple times, and coaches have told us they are the real deal. Yes. I mean, they passed the eye test, and those who have played them say that they are the best team in HBCU football.
I would think so. You know, I'd ask this. You agree with your partner?
I do agree. But here's
Jackson State's really good.
Hey, look, and we saw them earlier this year because they pretty much controlled their own destiny when they hosted Florida A&M back in October. So now Jackson State has an opportunity. They're going to meet off with Southern in the SWAC championship next weekend in Jackson, and we could potentially see a rematch
Please refrain from
of the 2021 Cricket Celebration Bowl. On the carry and slithering through, that's A.J. Gates Jr. He's got the wheels, he's making the moves. And down by Michael King Jr. at the Tuskegee 34-yard line. An impressive run of 46 yards to take us to the end of the first quarter. And really, folks, if you're just tuning in, it was all Alabama State here in the 100th Turkey Day Classic. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by McDonald's on this Thanksgiving Day from ASU Stadium. Hey, folks, what's in a name? You saw Eddie Robinson just there on the screen, but not the Eddie G. Robinson Sr., one of the all-time winningest coaches, but Eddie Robinson Jr., the head coach for Alabama State, who played his college ball here and then on to the NFL and became the head coach of the Hornets. The common misconception, they are related, but they are not. Eddie G. Robinson Sr. for Grambling State, and then Eddie Robinson Jr. for Alabama State. And right now, E-Rob's squad is balling as of right now. That's Jalen Jones. Jalen Jones, who was one of the touchdown recipients from Key. And Jay, you had the opportunity to broadcast with Eddie Robinson Jr., and he's done a great job here at his alma mater in just 3 seasons.
You think if he went by Ed Robinson, there'd be so much confusion? I mean, there's only, in the HBCU space, there's only so many Eddies.
Right.
And then when you say Eddie Robinson, that name is legendary. I asked, well, hey, you never thought about going by Edward or anything? He said, I was Little Ed growing up, because his dad is obviously another Eddie Robinson Sr., but he said he stuck with it.
Key flinging it out, going into the end zone and nearly intercepted. Michael King Jr. had a hand on it. Another look at it here.
Yeah, fortunate for Korean Key, this ball's not intercepted. Great coverage, but King with an opportunity to make the one-hand interception, not able to haul it in. Would have been a great play and a much-needed play for Tuskegee.
The All-Americans and Michael King Jr. from Booker T. Washington High School in Tuskegee. And that play whistled dead before the snap.
False start. Offense, number 7. 70. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Not going against the left tackle, Desmond Daniels. But Eddie Robinson Jr., New Orleans native, played linebacker here from 1988 to 1992. 2-time SWAC Defensive Player of the Year. And was inducted at just 28 years old into the Southwestern Athletic Conference Hall of Fame. And he helped to lead this program to a Black College National Championship back in 1991. The handoff and the carry, and right there the cut from Jalen Jones, who's having a day so far. Touchdown from 28 yards out.
You know what they say around here? The Alabama STATEU University ASU is rolling right now. Great cut by Jones. Right now, offensive coordinator Chris Barnett is just having fun. Just pull out the playbook, throw darts at it. Whatever play he calls seems to work.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under further review.
You know what they're reviewing? Whether he dropped that ball too soon. I saw when he was coming across, I thought it was close. You know, these kids want to celebrate so much. And I thought Tuskegee should have ran over and picked it up. Let's take a look at he's going here. He knows he's getting it to the end zone. That's close. I think it's a touchdown.
I think it's a touchdown from that angle, but here's another look at it. Better angle.
Ooh, that ball's coming out.
Yep, no.
That ball's out.
Yeah.
You didn't trust your partner. I told you it was close when I saw it. I said, that's close. And I think they're going to take that from him.
Yes.
Hey, every now and then you got to teach him a lesson.
Right.
So the replay view gets to teach him a lesson a little bit. Unnecessarily just starts to look cool. Hey, he's on the 2-yard line, yard and a half. He does not have control of that football.
Nope. And that's going to be, you know, frustrating if the call is overturned. Simply because, one, you have an opportunity to add to your touchdown total if you're Jalen Jones already. And then coach is going to have to, you know, have a quick talk for as much as Chris Barnett is doing a great job.
See what the ball does.
The ball goes.
Nobody jumps on. Yep. Fumbled the ball at the back of the end zone. Tuskegee football going the other way. Wow. And that would be on a not top 10.
Right.
You've seen so many running backs do this over the years. Why? Why do it? You know, like our coach used to say, the party don't start till after the game. Right. The celebration doesn't start till after the touchdown.
Right.
And
and Alabama State has been able to score at will. I mean, it hasn't taken them very long. Their scoring drives are all under 2 minutes. But that one we anticipate will be wiped off the board.
They have a huge jumbotron here in the stadium, and the stadium crowd all said, "Oh," when they saw it. So they're not going to be surprised at all. They play a little bit of a King George. They love the blues down here in the South.
Jay, you had an opportunity to check out King George yesterday in concert, because it was a. You talked about how this used to be an old homecoming for Alabama State. I mean, and it had that feel. And the temperature's starting to change here too. It was about 63 degrees at the start of the game. But since then, we've lost a little sunshine, and the breeze is picking up even further. And you see the flag and just the wind coming in, the wind gusting at about 17 miles per hour.
After review, it was determined the runner lost possession of the ball before he crossed the goal line. The ball rolled out through the end zone to the back of the end line. Therefore, it is a touchback. Possession will go to Tuskegee, first and 10 from the 20-yard line.
And what a change of momentum, and a careless mistake if you're Jalen Jones. And so instead of being up 27-3, now you give the ball back, erase that touchdown off the board. And Tuskegee, who moved the ball in their last possession pretty well, put up 3 points. Let's see what they're able to do here on this drive.
I think you start with Beal in the backfield, and then you try to bring in that wildcat formation again, because they had good success using their running backs with direct snaps.
The handoff to Mulba, and Mulba, who waits, cuts back inside, and then pushed down by Jackson. A 9-yard run. Another look at it here.
I mean, these running backs have shown good patience. The offensive line just washes everybody to the left, finds a cutback lane to the right.
Going with Mulba again, finds a little bit of daylight and a first down here.
We have not seen teams in the SWAC Division I have the success running the football against Alabama State that we're seeing from Tuskegee right now.
And this is a Hornets defense that's used to giving up about 103 yards average on the ground. And so far for Tuskegee, they've gained 75 yards. And get this, just under 7 yards per carry for the running backs.
And look at the beat, look at the fullback. 5'9", 270 pounds, going in motion right now. So you got to worry about the running backs, and then you got to worry about the big fullback.
A way to hold on to the football. Kenneth Law Jr., who we saw drop one on the last possession, able to hang on and a first down.
Good job. Doesn't catch it initially, but after the hit, able to hold on and secure the catch.
So good job by the sophomore out of Hoover, Alabama. So now 1st and 10 for Tuskegee from their 46-yard line. And not fooled and swung to the ground. That's Rico Dozier, and Dozier, the transfer linebacker, tackled for a loss of 4.
Dozier had a fantastic campaign after transferring over from Arkansas Pine Bluff, where he led the conference in tackles a season ago. Immediately came to Alabama State, became an anchor on that defense from his middle linebacker position. The middle linebacker, you're supposed to love games like this. When they're going to run the football at you, that's linebacker game right there. Your tackle numbers are going to be high. Be interesting to see how many he tallies up today.
Now 2nd and 14. Beal steps up, delivers into the hands of Mulba, and Mulba, who gets around a defender. Zena Mulba, who was able to skirt around Dozier on that play, and a pickup of 21.
These running backs are good. I mean, that's the skill position group that they feel most confident with. When he catches his ball, you say, hey, if he can make one guy miss, it can be a big play. And he makes the aforementioned Rico Dozier miss on the sideline. First down, Golden Tigers.
All right, marching back into Hornets territory again. As Jaquil Rouser in at that wildcat position. So we talked about how they can cycle through a number of different runners in the backfield. Now, Rouser, the fourth we've seen. Fourth running back, as Harry Williams, who played his ball at Tuskegee as well, went on to the NFL. On that one instead, so now 3rd and 6 for the Golden Tigers.
And protection's going to be the key, and don't get confused. You know you're going to see an exotic look from defensive coordinator Ryan Lewis of Alabama State. They're going to give you a lot of movement at the line of scrimmage. Know your protection, find a matchup, pick apart the defense.
Play whistle and a timeout taken before the snap by Tuskegee.
30-second timeout. Tuskegee, 2nd and a half.
And what's going to be important for them to discuss, we'll see what it is that they come up with after the break. Big 3rd down coming up when you return.
Do the reveal. She's on top of it. I want to hear what she has to say.
Absolutely correct. Now on 3rd and 6 after the timeout for Tuskegee, the Golden Tigers looking to claw their way back into this game. Scored on their last possession. Can they keep this drive going? Across the middle and trailing the crossing route from Gregory King, and the pass incomplete. Willie Lovett was on the coverage, and now 4th and 6, and Beal slowly walking to the sideline. Now there was a decision early for Aaron James to go for it on 4th and 1. In this instance, now in the 2nd quarter, 4th and 6, and he's keeping his offense on the field.
You got to keep your offense. You start thinking about a field goal. The wind is blowing hard from left to right. You talked about the
9:31.
You talked about the wind gusts almost 18 miles an hour. So
clock starting to snap.
In this situation here, you can't kick a field goal. But in this type of game, you start to understand it's the rivalry. Your quarterback's making pretty good decisions with the football. You just need the wide receivers to hold on to it.
So here on 4th down, got to get to the 27-yard line. The pass completed into the hands of Kenneth Law Jr. So Golden Tigers are able to convert.
Big time play by Beal, the quarterback. He doesn't know who's going to come free, but he knows somebody's coming free. Stands tall in the pocket, delivers a strike for the first down to keep the drive alive.
And one of the things you mentioned earlier, Jay, was just his size. 6'5", 225 pounds, and those were the numbers that immediately jumped out to you.
Yeah, he can see over the offensive line and able to use the size effectively. That's the key. You can have big quarterbacks, but they can play scared. He doesn't play scared.
10th play of the drive coming right here on the snap. It's Beal again out of his hands, and that ball was deflected. So Dejan Jackson, who's been busy here today, and the redshirt junior altered that last play.
And I'm curious, after you threw for the first down, get back to your bread and butter. Run the football. Use those running backs.
Instead, they're going to look to go to that wildcat formation, which has been effective. Johnny Moores, who has the most yards on the ground with 53. And he takes it to that left side, tries to find some room, and then come from behind. The big tackle made by Elmore. Elijah Elmore just jumped on his back to bring the running back down.
I mean, watch him from the beginning. He beats his guy, and he doesn't give up on the play, chases down the running back, and delivers a big hit at the end of that run. That's what you like to see from your interior linemen, the D tackles and the nose tackles, that motor where even if somebody gets by him, chase him down and try and put that big body on the running back.
Well, we saw Beal and this offense convert on 4th down. They have yet to do it on 3rd down in this game. Got to pick up 9 yards here. Beal drops back, looks to his left, feels the pressure from behind, and he goes down.
Fumble.
The ball comes loose.
Make some noise for those boys on defense.
And LaPierre, Maurice LaPierre, who was chasing him down from behind. And Elliott Howell fortunate to come up with it for Tuskegee. And now a 47-yard field goal attempt.
That's tough. And this wind, remember we talked about the wind. The wind is still going from left to right. He's going to really have to step into this kick to have a chance.
Well, that's been his season long. In fact, this would tie a career long. He hit one from 47 yards against Grambling and is able to do it again. Successful in Lorcan. They can trust. So a couple of field goals for Tuskegee. And they're trying to come back in this one against Alabama State. Back to ESPN College Football presented by McDonald's. Jay Walker, Tiffany Green here at ASU Stadium. And certainly on this Thanksgiving Day, this is a fantastic tradition that was reestablished. You know, the history going back to 1924 when the Turkey Day Classic first began. And this is one of those gorgeous stadiums, one of the best in all of FCS, Jay, as you'd like to say, built in 2012.
Oh, wonderful. I was fortunate enough to do the very first game they ever had here in this game. And guess who they played? It was the Turkey Day Classic. Okay. They played Tuskegee. And Alabama State fans don't like to hear it, but they're often reminded they lost their first game here to Tuskegee. Brand new, most electric environment I'd ever seen. And I always tell everybody, out of all the FCS stadiums, this is probably number one. Top 5 at least. Got all the amenities for a 30,000-seat stadium, everything you want, the technology. You did a really good job here. Let me try something here, Tiff. So today is what?
Thanksgiving Day.
So you always want to express things you have to be thankful for, right? Tuskegee has to be thankful to still be in this football game because they received the gift on that last drive. This score could have been 28-3. Instead, it's 21-6 in a close contest. We'll see if the Golden Tigers can continue to have some more thankfulness.
Jai Harrell on the return, and it's also important, Jay, as we take a look at this week's college football playoff rankings brought to you by Capital One. And of course, a lot of decisions to be made here in this rivalry weekend and a game that you're keen in on or care about the most.
The ones I care about the most, obviously,
you
Ohio
about
State,
Tennessee,
Michigan, we talked about Tennessee as well. But the team that surprised me the most, and I want to give credit to the committee, they didn't really heavily penalize Indiana for losing to a really, really good Ohio State team. I think Indiana, the job that Coach Cignetti is doing there with the Hoosiers, still have an opportunity to maybe make it to the postseason.
If you're just tuning in, it was 21 unanswered points by Alabama State. Tuskegee has found a way back into this ball game, and Jay, just what you mentioned, there's like a 10-point swing there. So instead of that touchdown, which was gifted back over, the ball player dropped the ball before heading into the end zone. There was a touchback, so Tuskegee was able to net points, and then they find themselves back in this ball game. But what do they have to do defensively? Because they have not had great success stopping this Hornet offense.
The secondary. I think the defensive line has done a good job against the run, but there's been poor tackling in the secondary, been poor coverage in the secondary.
Once again, right there, Jay, as you mentioned, as
poor tackling in the secondary.
How did he keep his balance along the sideline? Another touchdown. The tightrope act down the sideline for Robert McMinn. 63 yards to the house.
Poor tackling by the secondary. Poor tackling. It's one thing when a guy's running wide open, but when you don't secure the tackle out of bounds, I mean, it's the same play. We see somebody running in motion. They're giving it to the motion guy. He's got to go down. I mean, look at that push. You push him so high, but great effort by McMinn to stay in bounds. And we saw it here on the near sideline. He was in bounds.
Yes.
He stayed in bounds. Great athleticism and body control.
Now, they may review that one as well. We saw another close one down the sideline for Eric Horn, who remained a touchdown. But Robert McMinn, 2 catches, 136 yards, and 2 scores.
Well, that's the push, but we could see up here that he did a great job of tight roping and did not go. How did he stay in bounds? That's still no excuse for the poor tackle by Tuskegee once again in the secondary.
And Robert McMinn has single-handedly outgained this Tuskegee offense in those 2 plays. He's been electric. The big play ability of the Hornets on full display here in Montgomery.
The thing about
one of the oldest black college HBCU classics, the 100th Turkey Day Classic, going back to 1924. The photos through the years, a beautiful sight, and this rivalry means so much to so many in the state of Alabama, whether you're a Tuskegee fan or an Alabama State fan. Originally played in Crampton Bowl, moved to ASU Stadium, and I just love to see the styles, the fashions, the looks from back in the day, Jay.
Oh, they were coming dressed to the nines, weren't they?
Yeah.
I saw one look where there's definitely a picture taken from the 80s. That was the 80 look with the prep look there. Only two tubas or sousaphones in one of those old pictures. My, how college football's changed.
Is that your favorite instrument in a marching band?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
because you like to make sure that you point out those sousaphones, and for this Tuskegee group that's coming from Tuskegee, Alabama, I mean, they have there was a layoff, if you will, 11-year hiatus between when these teams last played on Thanksgiving Day. They reinvigorated that, they rejuvenated that rivalry on Turkey Day last year.
Good. For the better.
It is for the better. It's a 3-year agreement, and Tuskegee, who was one of those great contenders, Division II playoff contenders, had opportunities they didn't want to forego, but they opted out to be able to play in this moving forward. Johnny Morris trying to move the pile forward on that first down run. It's going to bring up 2nd and about 4.
And when we talk about this being Alabama State's homecoming, one of the more legendary homecomings or popular homecomings is Tuskegee homecoming.
Yeah.
So they put a lot of emotion in there, and if you've never been, definitely put that on your bucket list. And then they know they're going to end the season with this game here as well. So one of the unique type of deals in college football, the Alabama State-Tuskegee rivalry.
And they've also played on Labor Day as well. We were here for that once before as Morris comes even closer. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 2.
And you would think as successfully as Tuskegee's been running the football today, this should be easy. Well, they've been having success on 1st and 2nd down running the ball. Really have not had a good job on 3rd down conversions today in this game. This is going to be tough right now because Alabama State knows the run is coming. They're going to load the line of scrimmage, get everybody close, and try and contain the Wildcat running back, who's Johnny Morris.
Well, excellent point, Jay. Have yet to convert on 3rd down thus far. This one, their shortest one to go. It's Mulba in motion. He's running behind him, or Chase Sellers in motion. They ran behind him, and oh man, Johnny Morris. Johnny Morris is one of those guys where you just want to pay attention to at all times. Total package, great leader on this group, and you see he's a playmaker as well.
Yeah, the old sweep left, and look at the patience, and he's looking for where's the best running lane, just so he get 2 yards, makes one cut, and makes it a big run as well. Alabama State struggling versus this Wildcat formation.
Out of Spanish Fort, Alabama, as Johnny Morris remains in that position. again trying to follow Sellers, decides to reverse field, and then popped and thumped by DeMarcus Cunningham. Cunningham, the other linebacker, the will linebacker, was in on the stop. Loss of 1.
I mean, looks like Sandlot football, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, he looks like he's having a lot of fun just running away from everybody, trying to make a miss.
Well, what did you say earlier, Jay, that this is a linebacker's dream, being able to key in on a number of different running backs, understanding they want to establish the ground game. Raekwon Beal back as the signal caller. Here on 2nd and 11. Lets it go, has a man, and delivers right in the breadbasket of Gabriel Garman. 24-yard reception for a first down, and they trot into Alabama State territory at the 30.
They call this standing tall in the pocket. See, when you're 6'5", stand tall in the pocket. Don't get low, stand tall. You can see above everybody. Throws a nice ball to Garman for the completion. Garman doing a good job stepping up because Reggie Bridgman, one of their go-to wide receivers, is out of this game, so they need to make up for his production.
Flag comes out. Is the play whistle dead?
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Makes first down.
Well, going back to that last play for Tuskegee, their longest play of the game, and you think about the job that this offensive line has done standing tall, because we mentioned Traquan Thomas in the open, right, as one of those disruptors up front. He was bringing pressure, couldn't get to him in time, but what is it that they're able to do to try to silence him and quiet him a little bit?
Run at him. You know, edge rushers like to just attack the quarterback and get first starts, but they're running directly at him and making him choose going inside or outside. Sometimes he's just taking himself out of the play with his aggressiveness.
So LaPierre makes the tackle, but there's a look at Traquan Thomas, the redshirt junior out of Orlando, Florida. An all-SWAC performer, leading the Hornets in sacks last year and this year. And one of the best on defense, and here is defense trying to hold. 2nd and 12 as the 2-minute timeout brings us to a break. We will step aside here as well. We'll see 2nd down and 12 for Tuskegee when we come back. On the Allstate halftime report, we're talking Big 12 and intriguing games of the weekend. We'll have Murphy and Maddich in the studio. That's Phil Murphy and Trevor Maddich. You'll hear from them in just a moment. And of course, the band's getting ready. The Marching Crimson Piper Band on the left, and the mighty Marching Hornets for Alabama State here at Tuskegee. After the 2-minute timeout, 2nd and 12. Beal in the quick reverse and back to the quarterback. They have a man open and stuck immediately. The tackle made by Dwight Jacobs. Loss of 2 immediately. He says, I wasn't fooled.
And this is the benefit of reading your keys. Don't fall for the razzle-dazzle. Great eye discipline. And once the ball is caught by Devin Cooper, number 17, Dwight Jacobs there to deliver a big hit.
Everybody in the stadium said, ooh, after that, pushing him back a couple of yards, and now big 3rd down here. Got to get to the 20-yard line. Beal looks at the sideline and is going to spin.
Tuskegee has taken
their final timeout.
30-second timeout.
While we have the opportunity, SEC on ABC this weekend. Okay. Just an hour away from here, history on the Plains, and boy, what an exciting game they had last week against Texas A&M to defeat them, snapping their 14-game losing streak against AP-ranked opponents. And Here on 3rd and 14th, Traquan Thomas tried to get by. Beal escapes, gets the ball away, and the pass is incomplete. Beal, who took a shot slow to get up, and it's 4th down. So the defense holds for the Hornets. And they really do swarm, like as their mascot says.
They're all over the field. And with a minute to go here, you're down by 22. They're keeping the offense. Seems like they're going to keep the offense on the field. If so, you have to assume Alabama State's going to give you the same look they gave you on the previous play. It was a cover 2, get into a trip formation. Make them shift. So I like this. You'll see the bottom of the screen. They've got a trip wide receiver formation. Cover 2 defenses don't like that. That means you can attack the middle of the field.
Well, they converted on 4th and 6, and there, an interception right into the hands of the defender. And coming back on this one, that's Trey Phillips, and Trey Phillips with the INT. 25-yard return in the process, and a tough throw and a lot of traffic as the receivers were well covered for the Golden Tigers, and Beal turns it over.
These are just bad routes. I mean, look at these 3 guys. Who's going to win their matchup? Middle field's open, get some separation, a little bit of a hold there, too close together. The ball was being thrown to the second receiver. That's not who Phillips was guarding. Phillips came off his guy. The spacing was not there.
And Phillips gets congratulated on the sidelines. His first interception of the season. And so now you look to Alabama State. 48 seconds, all 3 timeouts to work with.
I'm throwing. The way they're having struggles in the secondary, we're going to put some more points on the board before halftime.
Yeah, well, they scored a couple of touchdowns in 48 seconds already in this game to Robert McMinn, who already has 2. Wisely receives it, steps out of bounds.
You're going to see Alabama State not give them a traditional look. They're going to test their mental IQ to see if they made the adjustment, sending guys in motion, overloading one side of the field, trying to run the second man through open.
Kareem Key, who's already had a career day, 4 touchdowns, steps up into the pocket, and he's tripped up and brought down by Tyler Wells, and they're going to have to spend a timeout here, and Eddie Robinson Jr. elects to do so.
Timeout. State. First 30 of the half.
Now, if you're Chris Barnett, I mean, are you going to just try to call that man in motion and wheel route really quickly again? Because you look at the time, 48 seconds on their second drive. Another one on their 4th scoring drive. So Alabama State has done all of their damage in less than 2 minutes.
Absolutely. I'm going to send guys in motion to try and confuse them again. A little surprised they did not have a motion guy on the last play there. It was just a 2-by-2 set. But Tuskegee's really struggled when you give them a trips formation. And we even saw Chris Barnett, the offensive coordinator, 2 plays ago, overload the zone. He put 4 people to one side. So I will continue to do those type of plays there, get guys in motion, make the secondary for Tuskegee communicate, and when they don't, take advantage of it.
Out of the timeout here on 3rd and 3. And in motion, but they hand it off to Daquan Kinsey, and Kinsey picks up the first down and a little bit more, so the clock will stop temporarily while they move the chains and set.
They've got a fullback in the game, and when Alabama State brings in their fullback, follow the football. He's normally the lead guy.
That's Dylan Creech, number 40. Instead, one-on-one coverage. Asa Gregg tried to make the 100 grab, and Michael King Jr. was there on the coverage. It's 2nd and 10. Clock stops with 16 seconds.
Good job of getting behind the defensive back, and Gregg almost able to make the OBJ style of catch. So you got to motion somebody right now. See, they're coming out in set formation, and Tuskegee can do well in these situations.
Intercepted instead not on the same page, and Cameron Reynolds comes up with it. So they hand the ball right back over to Tuskegee, who will likely
take a knee.
Take a knee, I would think, but you know, you never know. But another look here. Second turnover of the game for the Hornets.
And miscommunication between Greg and Key.
First down.
I think Key thought that Greg was going to break off his route and come across instead of continuing to run up the seam.
So with 12 seconds to go, Tuskegee, who will get the ball to start the second half, will take a knee here. So a slow ending after a very quick start to this ball game. Alabama State, who got rolling hot and heavy early, things kind of evened out. It's a 22-point advantage for Eddie Robinson Jr.'s team here at home for the 100th Turkey Day Classic against their in-state rival, Tuskegee. And Jay, of course, everyone is excited about the bands who will take the field. Mighty Marching Hornets, Marching Crimson Piper Band as well. They are set to go. You can see their full performance on ESPN3, as this is just as much a part of the tradition and the pageantry and the excitement that everyone has here at ASU Stadium. It was ASU who controlled the first two quarters here from Montgomery.
Morgan Walk.
To the 50-yard line as our Crimson Piperettes dance to All Rights by Victoria Monet. noise for the Crimson Pirates. At this time, we offer a special musical tribute to Latavian Johnson, who was tragically killed early this month. We also offer prayers for all victims of gun violence. HBCUs are sacred places, and Tuskegee University stands firmly against violence of any kind. In remembrance of Latavian Johnson, we present to you Stand by Donnie McClurkin. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise one time for Latavian Johnson. As the band transitions to dance formation, we're hitting with a tune from Megan Thee Stallion, Glorilla, and Boston Rich. MCB, let's get it.
We hope you enjoyed our show. I'm your announcer, Mr. Blue, and we are out. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we turn your attention to the field as we introduce the 2024 Alabama State University SGA and Royal Court. The Secretary, Carmel Sanders. The treasurer, Juwan Trotman. Vice President of the SGA, Camila Freeman. And your two-time SGA President, Landon Carroll. Put your hands together for the 2024 SGA Administration. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we introduce Miss Alabama State University and Royal Court. Little Miss Hornet is Madeline Lewis. Little Miss ASU is Mackenzie Holmes. Miss Freshman is Mariama Jordan, escorted by Chancellor Bacon. Miss Sophomore, Paige Scott, escorted by DeAndre Jolly.
Miss Junior is Julia Jackson, escorted by Miles Wilson. Miss Senior, Faith Blackwell, escorted by Xavier Dorsey. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your Miss Alabama State University is Miss Erin Carver, escorted by Mr. Miles Lowe. Put your hands together right now, Hornet Nation, for your Miss Alabama State University and Royal Court. Quick announcement, ladies and gentlemen, Robert Morgan, we need you to the main gate. Again, Robert Morgan, we need you to the main gate. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime! It's the 100th Annual Turkey Day Classic. Let me hear you say, yeah, 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 State! Yeah, 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 State! Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Dr. Quentin Ross, President of Alabama State University, Dr. Wendy Coleman, Dean of the College of Visual and Performing Arts, and Dr. Carly Johnson, Chair of the Department of Music. Hornet Nation, we proudly present to you the Alabama State University Mighty Marching Hornets! Drum major for the 2024 season, Cameron Johnson, Dontrell Hall, Nazareth Martin, and head drum major, Justin Heidemann. Taking the field, celebrating 100 years. You've seen them on A&E, Aspire, and Lifetime. Put your hands together for your Alabama State University Mighty Marching Hornets. It's halftime fanfare. Join the Mighty Marching Hornets as we move to the sounds of Georgie Porgy by Toto. And now, ladies and gentlemen, today, the Mighty Marching Hornets staff developed this show to give honor to Dr. James B. Oliver for his 25 years of service to the Mighty Marching Hornets and 40-plus years in education. Thank you, Dr. Oliver. You deserve your flowers. Hornet Nation, let's give Prof. Oliver a big round of applause and a big yeah, 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 State! Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Dr. James B. Oliver. We love you, Prof.
And now Hornet Nation, conducted by Dr. James B. Oliver, is A Couple of Forevers by Chrisette Michelle. And now it's our beautiful and sensational Stingettes, dancing to Black and Gold by Sam Sparrow.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by McDonald's. Mighty Marching Hornets of Alabama State on the field here at the half as they have a 28-6 lead over Tuskegee.
The Stingettes!
Welcome back into the booth with Jay Walker. I'm Tiffany Green, and an entertaining first half, especially for Alabama State. The Hornets scored 21 unanswered points, but a couple of turnovers for the Alabama State group, giving Tuskegee an opportunity and opening a window for them to come back.
Yeah, I mean, the score is what it is right now, but if you're Tuskegee, you're fortunate to be in this game by the margin that you are. What do you have to do at halftime? What type of adjustments? Well, you have to find a way to shore up your pass defense. Alabama State could easily have almost 300 yards of total offense in the first half, slightly short of that there. So I think it's going to come down to the halftime adjustment. Who can make the better adjustment? If you're Tuskegee, it all starts with your pass defense.
when you look at Kareem Key and the job that he did in that first half, I mean, it was the scoring plays. He got on the board quickly. He found the receivers, and he was able to do so in under 2 minutes on those scoring drives.
They made it look easy, and look how open the wide receivers are when you talk about this. I mean, these are just so many broken plays in the secondary. Wide open receivers, and Kareem Key, to his credit, just a freshman, did a good job of recognizing the mistakes that Tuskegee was making in the secondary. Wide open or not, you have to be able to find guys when they're open. Kareem Key did a good job of that in the first half.
I mean, Jay, get this. He was the 5th string quarterback, had 7 touchdowns coming into today's game. He's got a career best 4 and helping the Hornets get out to this lead. On the other side, some signs of life and a bright spot in Johnny Morris, the running back.
Yeah, I think the surprise for me in the first half is that Tuskegee was able to run the ball against the best rushing defense in the SWAC. They were able to do a wildcat formation. They were able to utilize shifts in different ways to get the ball to their running backs and their best players. They're going to need to do more of that in the second half if they want to try and get back into this ball game. Don't worry about what the score is. Their best offensive weapon has been those running backs. Utilize them more in the second half.
And we will see exactly what the Golden Tigers will do as they get the ball to start the second half. But going back and looking at those first half stats, you see the passing yards and the total yards for Alabama State clearing. But there is hope, as you mentioned, with the rushing game for Tuskegee. Meanwhile, it's been the Golden Tigers who have had the ball longer, but they had not been able to sustain and put together drives the way that they would have liked.
Absolutely, and that's what they've got to do. And the 100 rushing yards, Alabama State only gives up 101 rushing yards per contest. So Tuskegee has found something there. How much more can they do to utilize that to get back in this football game?
All right, Jay, this is a wonderful time to talk about your Gimme 5 because it is Thanksgiving Day, right?
Yes.
And so, yes, everyone is wanting to know what is this week's Jay's Gimme 5.
Well, how about this? It's Thanksgiving, and we all know Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday of the year if you don't know. So I'm going to say this. Jay's Gimme 5, it's got to be the 5 things that you have to have at Thanksgiving. It's not
had the opportunity to talk to the coaches beforehand, so Tuskegee's Aaron James said you got to have the mac and cheese, so he co-signed on that.
Yes.
And then Eddie Robinson Jr., a New Orleans native, said, well, Thanksgiving isn't complete without some seafood and some gumbo.
He wants some gumbo, so we knew that was coming there. And in your credit, the one dish that everybody runs out of on Thanksgiving?
What's that?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
That's all. That pot is always empty.
Okay, so you like my list too. Let's see who's bringing the flavor. Brought to you by McDonald's here on this 100th Turkey Day Classic. A look around as the mighty Marching Hornets just finished up on the field. We heard from the Marching Crimson Piper Band earlier, and of course, the black and gold heavily in the stands. They are hosting this game. We talked about the party of one, and I love it. Anytime you see him, Q-Dog, a man of Omega Psi-Phi, is something cool and special. And the great work honoring Dr. James Oliver, Dr. O, on the field earlier for his decades of service and commitment to this Alabama State program.
Stingettes.
Yeah.
Got some Stingettes. Look at that, the numbers.
Yeah.
This is the 100th
100,
Turkey Day Classic.
Of course, we mentioned this fantastic facility here at ASU Stadium. Second half play is underway as Tuskegee fields this one on the return. That's Jaquil Rouser, and Rouser, who's finding space and then head on, just lowers the boom. 40-yard return for Rouser.
Tuskegee trying to get fired up in the locker room, coming out. The special teams doing a good job. And take a look at the end of this. Look, he sees a kicker. Boom! Looked like two Rams hitting each other, didn't it? And one Ram won that battle more than the other.
And so now great starting field position for the Golden Tigers thanks to Rouser. It's 1st and 10 from the Alabama State 48-yard line. When that first half, Raekwon Beal, 7 of 15 for 72 yards. But we mentioned the running attack of Johnny Morris, Chase Sellers, Zena Molba, and Rouser really helped the efforts. Johnny Gilbert moving in tight. They hand it off to Morris. Morris with the cutback, and Morris, who's flipped and upended by Amon Scarborough in a first down.
You come down here to Montgomery, you got to acknowledge him. We saw the Stingettes and bringing the flavor. Who's that, Tiff?
Those are the Honeybees, world acclaimed Honeybees, as a part of the mighty Marching Hornets as well. Johnny Morris back at it again along that right side. And when he gets the edge, he can be just as dangerous as he is running between the tackles.
And he's got really good vision and the patience, and we've seen that. He knows where to attack the defense. He knows where the hole's going to be, and more importantly, he can wait for the hole and explode for big plays.
The quarterback numbers, in comparing the two, Beal, who has done a good job, but also they're trying to establish that ground game, which has been most effective for him. Meanwhile, Kareem Key is having himself a day here on 2nd and 6, and into the hands Devon Cooper, and Cooper kind of shake and bake, and just a yard short, so going to bring up 3rd and 1. And the wind continuing to gust and pick up here. Jay, we saw Lorcan Ryans knock in a 47-yarder with that wind going in this direction. They picked up another field goal. And now on 3rd and 1. Question is, can the Golden Tigers keep it going and punch one into the end zone? As it's Morris lined up in the Wildcat. He goes to that right side, and DeMarcus Cunningham tracks him down, but not before they move the chains.
And I like when Morris is back there, he makes quick decisions with the little zone read option. Because he's a running back and he knows if he sees something that he can exploit, he'll call his number quickly right away, and he really keeps his Alabama State defense on their heels because they just don't know which direction he's going to cut, and he's elusive as well.
Morris, who stays on the field, but now it's Chase Sellers who rotates in at Wildcat. They send Morris in motion, and Morris is going to block and create a path forward for Chase Sellers, who dives down as James Burgess credited with the tackle. 1st down and into the red zone.
I like football players, and Johnny Morris is a football player. Watch him serve as lead blocker. Coming there, number 6, left side, wham! Get in the way, make sure his guy does not make the tackle. Nice assignment football in the running game.
Well, what we saw at the start of the game, we mentioned just the red zone efficiency for Tuskegee, 2nd in the SIAC, the oldest HBCU conference, and now an opportunity for them here. They're 1 for 1 with a field goal. And Sellers looking patiently inside, and DeMarcus Cunningham standing him up again.
I mean, how about this? Red zone offense, Tuskegee. They have 0 field goals in the red zone. 0. 31 touchdowns. 91% effective. They need that number to show up right now.
Well, until today when they were able to notch a field goal earlier. So, Jay, how does Harry Williams make sure that his team punches it into the end zone right now, moving the ball effectively, all set up by a great start?
And I'm a quarterback, and you're bringing Beal into the game. I like those running backs. It's 4-down territory. I would have run the ball twice. Now you bring in Beal. If you are running the ball, you're down 1 blocker.
And Morris flanks out and intercepted once again inside the red zone. So another INT for Beal, his 2nd of the day, and Amon Scarborough comes up with it. So that thwarts the drive. Meanwhile, there is a flag back at the 31-yard line.
You know, that was tough for me. I started it out saying I love quarterbacks. But why have the quarterback in the game on that play when the running backs were handling their business, as they like to say?
There's also a play on interception during the return. Actually, after the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 66. Offense. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced and in a run. First.
And that's against the center, LeBron Merriweather. And things go from bad to worse really quickly for Aaron James' squad. As an interception in the red zone, Alabama State's defense comes up with it. Their offense has it when we return. Black Swarm defense all smiles as Amon Scarborough comes up with the interception. And then after the play, the penalty against LeBron Merriweather here, Jay.
Yeah, take a look right here. Number 66, as the play's going on, it's going to be a return. Watch him not engage, and then goes down. Penalty, anytime they see that, tack it on to a bad play. And for head coach Aaron James, tough to see that drive end in that matter.
Here's Daquan Kinsey, and Kinsey on the run, brought down by Charles Davis Jr. Gain of 5.
Gain of 5 on the play.
And Alabama State, who has done a lot well on offense and hasn't taken much time up off the clock. We'll see if they can sustain a longer drive here as some movement up front. A couple of flags fly out in the process. We'll hear from Jarvis Walker, our referee.
Ball start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty, main second down.
The challenge for Alabama State is you have a freshman quarterback who's had a great first half, but freshman mistakes can show up at times, so you want to eliminate that. And you want to use the rushing attack if you can to help take some of the pressure off of Key.
I like the key moments he's had today using his last name.
It looks like a freshman, too, even with the headshot. Doesn't look like a freshman. Got baby hair still on his face.
And off to Kinsey, and Daquan Kinsey brought down by behind from Noah Holton. So now third down here. And Kareem Key, who is from that Birmingham area, we mentioned, has the most starts, began camp as a wide receiver, moved to quarterback out of necessity. Andrew Body and Jonah O'Brien got knocked out due to injury.
Look at this, trusting the freshman. Empty backfield with a freshman quarterback, giving him an opportunity to attack.
And he finds Robert McMinn, and McMinn helps him with the yards after catch to skirt around for 12 yards and a first down. So 3 for 4 today on third downs, and that's where this offense has been effective when they've had to.
And a good job by McMinn knowing where the first down marker was. Broke his route off a little bit short, but immediately made the catch, turned upfield to get the necessary yardage.
Now Key in this offense taking their time from their own 47 on the A on the field. The handoff right up the middle, and Marcus Harris, the second, just bouldering his way ahead. Michael McGuire on the tackle. That's after he picked up 11 and moved the chains again.
Big hole, and you can tell the acceleration right away from Harris. Tackle brought down by Michael McGuire, the promising freshman they have from Pleasant Grove, Alabama. Starting as a freshman in a Division II program, not easy to do because they have so many veteran players.
It's Harris again. This time he's trying to bounce to the outside, and Rossi Grimes giving chase, and a flag flies out in the middle of the field in the process.
If that flag's on Desmond Daniels, I'd be curious to see, because I thought I saw some flapjacks down there.
Offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty from previous spot. Remains first down.
Talk about the pancakes.
Them pancakes, you know. I'm sure Desmond Daniels thinks he's got a pancake. Let's take a look. You be the judge. Left guy, number 70. He's got him. Got him going backwards. That's pancake to me. I think that's pancake. Tough break. Did he grab a little jersey? But you know how I always feel about in order to run the ball, running plays, you got to grab jersey a little bit. It's just a matter when you release. But I'm going to give Daniels credit for the pancake.
You heard it here first, folks. Jay Walker. Put a little syrup on that. All right, 1st and 20 now. And Alabama State. Kareem Key finds a zone and hole and keeps on going as Kareem Key picks up all 20 yards plus 2 more.
Showing you why he was a wide receiver before he got moved to quarterback. And good job of recognizing nobody open. Shows the athleticism and the ability. And just more poor tackling on display from the Golden Tiger defense.
Kareem Key, who is having himself a great game, 10 of 15, 243 yards through the air. And on the carry, that's Jalen Jones.
Wow.
Jones with a nice move, and Jones then popped on his way out of bounds by Holton.
Poor tackling by the Tuskegee
Jay, you're
Golden
starting to
Tiger
sound like a
defense.
broken record here, bud.
Yes. I mean, it's been like that. This doesn't happen. I mean, get your helmet down. Somebody bring him down. And then you see the hardest hit comes when he's out of bounds already.
And one of the concerns for Aaron James, when we talked to him earlier this week, is how this team would come out and respond. They hadn't played a game since November 9th in that loss against Miles College. So 2.5 weeks before they hit the field again to take on this group. And big number 99, Terrence Mays. We called him at the start of the game. First time that we're calling him since, and is able to drag down the ball carrier. Loss of 2 on the run.
We've seen Mays. He's got a motor from Detroit. He can win his battle one-on-one. The defensive line for Tuskegee has done a pretty good job. It's just been, that's 5-on-4 right there. It's just the backside has not been able to help in the rush defense.
The 20-yard line of the Hornets, the line to gain, or of the Golden Tigers is the line to gain for the Hornets here. Substitution.
30-second timeout.
And Alabama State takes a timeout, and we will step aside here as well from the gun. Back here on 3rd and 4 for Alabama State, 8th play of the drive for the Hornets. It's Marcus Harris, who's tripped up in the backfield by Noah Holton. Holton heeding your call, Jay, of being a better tackler when needed.
And from his linebacker position, good job not allowing the running back to break, to bounce outside. Good job of chasing him down.
Brandon Gilliam coming on to attempt the field goal. Remember, he knocked through a 47-yarder, tying a career high here from 42 yards out. And up and through. Well, Brandon Gilliam, that's his first field goal of the game. And it's stretching out the lead, 31-6. But that wind, gusting at 18 miles per hour, keeps on dropping. And wind chill making it feel real cold. But how about the coolness in the stands? Alabama State fans have shown up all throughout the season. Top 5 in FCS attendance, better than 18,000. Jackson State leading the way. Another school out of the SWAC, Florida A&M. Southern also in their SWAC schools. Also, as the SWAC conference leading all conferences.
Always.
In FCS.
Well, they say, yeah, State.
We heard that during the half. We both were like, oh, okay.
That's a nice chant, but good job. Congratulations to the SWAC doing what they do, supporting their teams. 3 teams in the top 10 in attendance, and a couple others just nipping on the heels. But Alabama State, unique place to play a football game, and they love their Hornets here in the Gump.
Here on the return, it's Rouser, and Rouser, who had a great return the last time, but shorter distance on this go-round. Well, Tuskegee has to find a way to get back in this ball game, and Harry Williams has got to find some kind of secret sauce or success. Very familiar with him. And what are they going to do? They're going to switch things up at the quarterback position and go with Malik Davis out of Apopka, Florida. So we saw Raekwon Beal start. Now Malik Davis steps in for him.
They'll have a specialty RPO package they like to use with Davis in the backfield, so they're giving themselves another runner when he's in there, so this way they don't have to show their hand so much as we're going to run the ball.
And the handoff to Mulba. And Mulba, who's brought down the tackle made. And Beal looking on, loss of 1. So sometimes two offensive coordinators try to switch things up and give different looks. We mentioned before Harry Williams, who was the offensive coordinator at Alabama State, now in that same role for Tuskegee, trying to shake things up to see if they can have a little bit different look and success here on offense.
And now they have to find creative ways to get the running backs the football. And I like having 2 running backs in the backfield at once.
Davis, who was looking downfield, he decides to take off, take some punishment in the process. And it's going to bring up 3rd and medium. Dwight Jacobs delivered the blow.
In the passing game, Harry Williams is a wide receiver. Crossing routes. Really haven't seen Tuskegee take advantage of the crossing route where it's an easy throw for somebody coming right in your vision or your line of sight. You've got a new quarterback in the game, so you really want to simplify it.
You're on 3rd and 7. Stays up. And the receiver falls down in the process. That was Kenneth Law Jr. And so 4th down.
Right, and you'd like to see him step into that throw a little bit. The footwork was never in sync with the route. He's running to a spot. If you put that ball on him, he can adjust, but it kind of floated. And Kenneth Law kind of lost his direction. Look, too much on the pump fake and just kind of lofts that ball up there and not stepping into the throw. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Been a big play.
And that one partially blocked. They got a hand on it. And it's going to set up great field position as special teams coming up with a block. Another look at it here.
I mean, the catch and just great job of getting to the kicker.
And Maurice LaPierre, who has just been everywhere. We've called his name a few times on defense, and they're able to get to it just in time. So a 9-yard punt, second time Alabama State has started in Tuskegee field position, and you see the scowl of frustration on the face of Aaron James. Key looking, pump faking, still on his feet, goes underneath wisely, has his man Jalen Jones, and Jones, who has been special after the catch, and well, he was stretched out there by Moore and King.
And that was that play that we saw at the end of the first half where they like to flood the zone. 4 receivers all on the right side. Nobody open deep. Look at the check down. Nobody within 15 yards of them. That's an easy throw. And give credit to that offensive line up front, giving the young quarterback time to go through each of his progressions.
And the way that he has been able to complete passes of 20 yards or more, we've seen a couple of them in for scores, that one for 21 yards. And on 1st and 10, handing it off to Daquan Kinsey.
Hand off on the play by the Hornets, number 10, Kareem Key, to number 3, Daquan Kinsey.
Well, Eddie Robinson Jr.'s squad has been doing what is necessary. Credit Billy Gresham, the special teams coordinator, leading FCS with 6 block punts this season.
You know, when your team is led by the defense, which Alabama State is, the special teams tend to follow suit there, the aggressive nature. they say around here, they swarm as one on defense and special teams.
Player was held in the process, and no flag coming out. Jay, you and I both saw that as the receiver was held from behind. And let's look at it again, because this is a clear miss. They had all parts of the jersey.
It's the same play they've been running to get the guys open. You go in motion and watch the guy in motion. He's going to get a running start, and that's a takedown. I mean, he completely held him to stop his momentum. Tuskegee got lucky on the play.
So now 3rd and 8 for the Hornets. Tuskegee tries to bring pressure. They catch up to it, but wrapped up and nowhere to go, as again the interior lineman doing his job. This time it's DeMarcus Wynn. Loss of 4.
One of the few times you saw the freshmen make a mistake. When they blitz from the outside, when they bring 2 outside linebackers, the blitz is designed to keep you in the pocket. So you have to stay in the pocket. There's nowhere to run. So they were willing to say, hey, we're not coming up the middle to flush you out. We're going to blitz you from the outside to keep you in the pocket. He tried to run with no place to go.
Well, Gilliam, who just made a 42-yarder, tries to go for another one here, even with the win, no problem, and it's through. So tacking on 3 more, and Alabama State stretching out this lead a little bit further. Well, Jay, all roads lead to Atlanta for the Cricket Celebration Bowl, but the day before the Band of the Year competition, here are the latest rankings for the month of November. The Mighty Marching Hornets currently sitting at number 9. A&T, the returning champions, can they go back to Atlanta? Based on this, they may be headed back with Florida A&M right behind them, the Marching 100.
Now, you know me. You always say I always like to start something, right?
You do.
I saw Bethune-Cookman look great in the Florida Classic, and they dropped from number 4 to number 5. And you're a Rattler, and you saw they shouldn't be dropped at all.
I wouldn't give them the drop. Yeah, I would not give them the drop at all.
That one there makes me say, because that was a great performance, I thought. And they got the message across, too. There's always some messaging out there.
You
like
know
we
what?
saw the message
all of
for
them.
the 100 years of the Turkey Day Classic. We saw that message, and Dr. O with Bethune-Cookman laid a message to Florida A&M.
Jay, what did Michael Jackson say? You want to be starting something, right? Always want to be starting something. Let's be peaceful here on this Thanksgiving Day.
Yes, we are. The 2 top bands will make it there. It'll be interesting to see if North Carolina A&T can hold on to their title, the defending Band of the Year champions.
Versus his Tigers. Ball on the 25-yard line.
Brandon Gilliam, who was the specialist of the week in the SWAC. They needed all 3 of his field goals to trump Prairie View A&M last weekend.
Tough. Last game of the head coach for Bubba McDowell at Prairie View. And that just tells you how the coaching profession can go. With Prairie View A&M, they relieved Bubba McDowell. They played in the SWAC championship game last year. Wow. Change is the word to describe college football nowadays.
The word, indeed. Raekwon Beal back into the ball game, and that's Rouser. Rouser up ahead on the carry. So they have Malik Davis for a series, and they elect to go back with Beal and to that running game as Kale Rouser.
They really like Rouser. Rouser's a guy that's redshirting this year, but under the new rules, this is only the 4th game he will play in. They want to see what he can do, and they think he can be a fantastic running back to complement this running back core they presently have.
And that was the final play of the 3rd quarter as Alabama State adding some more insurance here in this 100th Turkey Day Classic here from the Gulf. Today, the Turkey Day Classic Parade, Carver High School among the marching bands in action and taking to the streets of Montgomery. And how about Johnson Abernathy Greats High School as well? Octavia Spencer, the actress, attended
Look at you.
JAG High School here in Montgomery.
And high school bands are serious down here.
Oh, for sure. For sure. You could just like do a nice swath of the South and understand. It's real important. Here on 2nd and 4, Beal hands it off. Rouser again. He's driven back. One of the things that we've seen, Rouser, Sellers, Mulva, but it's been Johnny Morris who has had the most success here this afternoon.
Yeah, I'd like to see Rouser and Morris in the backfield at the same time. You know, they say they like Rouser. He's explosive and quick. And Morris has been their best football player. So modified version, I think that's Morris they have in the slot now. And they're going to let Rouser, the freshman, take the snap from the Wildcat.
Full faith in this rotation of running backs, bringing Morris in motion, trying to decoy him a little bit, but good enough for Rouser to run ahead for the first down.
I don't think the timing was there. The ball was probably snapped before they could do the ride out. But Rouser, athletic enough and strong enough to get back to the line of scrimmage and pick up the needed yardage. And if Alabama State's not careful, with Morris and Rouser in the game, one of those guys can hit a home run on you. So they're going to bring Rouser across the formation in motion, probably give him some type of jet sweep look.
Johnny Morris trying to patiently wait, cut back, still on his feet, and then wrapped up and brought down by the linebacker duo of Dozier and Cunningham. Sounds like the law offices of Dozier and Cunningham, might I say. Loss of 6.
Yeah, very productive linebacker core here. Watch him just track down the ball carrier, never losing, contain. Then one hits and the other one comes to finish it up. That was an angry tackle, yeah. Wasn't it? He was stripping for the ball, and you already had him in the grasp, but good aggressive playmaking by DeMarcus Cunningham and Rico Dozier.
Beal back in, Rouser to his left. Beal off the back foot and going airborne a little bit early, but Reggie Brigman is able to bring it down. Pickup of 9 for Brigman, redshirt freshman out of Kennesaw, Georgia.
Yeah, we didn't see Brigman in the first half, but able to come out and play in the second half, and you can see he's that playmaker. Good job of coming back to his quarterback to make that catch.
It's been a struggle all game long for this Golden Tiger offense to pick up and convert the yardage needed for third downs. Can they do it here? As it's incomplete. So Johnson on the coverage, and Law is not able to come up with it here on 4th and 7. And the punting unit trotting back onto the field for Tuskegee.
Another one of the unique punt returns. They set this up in the first half. 2 returners, and they stand probably about 8 to 9 yards apart from each other, giving the defense something else they have to think about.
30-second timeout. Tuskegee.
Tuskegee spends a timeout here, and Jay, when you're looking around what's happening, the final weekend of the regular season for both of these squads, but the season's continuing as we bring you up to speed on HBCU storylines.
Well, right down the road in Birmingham, Sam Shade, head coach at Miles College, congratulations. Got their first win in the postseason versus a very known, popular Division II program in Carson Newman. Same thing can be said for Virginia Union. So 2 Division II HBCUs making a splash, making the HBCU community proud. However, Saturday, Eddie George, the job he did at Tennessee State to get them into the playoffs. They won the conference there. They got a tough task at Montana, but hats off to Big Blue Nation, Tennessee State going to the playoffs.
Well, the Big South OVC champions and coach of the year in the conference, Eddie George. And Jay, I'm curious to see in that mini how he will perform, or his team will perform, as this one is picked up by McMinn, but nowhere to go. And so 11:53 remaining in this one. It'll be Alabama State football when we return.
Is presented by McDonald's.
The Tuskegee Airmen, a group of African-American fighter pilots in the United States Army Air Corps during World War II, also nicknamed the Red Tails, known for the distinctive red paint on the tails of their planes. Right now, Tuskegee Golden Tigers football team trailing by a lot here against Alabama State in this 100th edition of the Turkey Day Classic. Jay Walker, Timothy Green back here with you. Alabama State has the ball, and they carry it on 1st and 10. It's Daquan Kinsey who gets the run. So Kinsey, the seniors, but much like we've seen from Tuskegee, some solid running backs for Alabama State between Kinsey and Marcus Harris the second. The 29 again, the carry for Kinsey, and Kinsey much room to run on this one, and brought down by Tyler Wells, 40 and white for the Golden Tigers.
That's why I would say that the front four for Tuskegee, more than that, active group of guys that can stop the run. It's just been that secondary, or those secondary pieces that you need to be a good job, a good unit at stopping the run. That has not been there. And third down has been going to the candy store for Alabama State with all the sugar they've been able to pick up.
See that education paying off for you, partner. 3rd and 5 there. Trying to get some pressure in.
Missed tackle.
Missed tackle, A.J. Gates Jr. And A.J. Gates Jr. keeps on going. He keeps on going. And they finally push him out. Inside the 10 is got all the way down to the 4-yard line. A 67-yard gain on that play from A.J. Gates Jr.
First, you'll see the strong safety, number 19, Grimes, missed the tackle. You're a safety, you're supposed to make the tackle. And then a poor angle by the freshman free safety, number 34, Michael McGuire, leads to a huge play, which should have been a minimal gain, if any, for Alabama State.
We have seen explosive plays from Alabama State due to some of that poor tackling that you're referencing for Tuskegee. And so it's just been a tough afternoon in the office.
30-second timeout. State
for Tuskegee, and so Alabama State spins their second timeout of the ball game as they have 1st and goal and 50.
Think about what just happened on that play. Your strong safety is supposed to be your best tackler, and your free safety is supposed to be the last wall of defense. And both players missed on that play right there. So, you know, defensive coordinator Ken Watson, you see there, got to be frustrating when you're putting guys in position and they're just not doing their job, which is to make tackles on the football field.
While we have the opportunity, we'll let you know about the number of HBCUs in Alabama, the most across the country, with 14 total. We've got Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Miles College, who you mentioned, shares the same conference, but Stillman College, Talladega.
Oakwood.
You like Oakwood?
Oakwood is in Huntsville, so they share that same city there. Selma's so legendary, and I mentioned Tuskegee and a number of community colleges there. I did not think they had the most, so
yes,
I learned something hanging around you. See, if I thought it was North Carolina, as I'm sure many people do.
North Carolina has 10, and that short run there from the 6-yard line on 2nd and goal, pickup of 2. How many have you visited?
But HBCUs?
No, like in the state of Alabama. Because you have been
on
at this
list,
for a minute, so.
I have not been to Selma.
Okay.
I have not been to
You
Selma.
been to Talladega?
Yeah, Talladega's on the way to Atlanta when you leave to Birmingham. Stillman's in Birmingham. or Stillman's outside of Birmingham, Tuscaloosa. Miles is in Birmingham.
Right. Okay, Jay. Man in motion, and they hand off again to Kinsey, and Kinsey, who's moving the pile all the way down to the 1-yard line, is going to bring up 3rd and goal from the 1.
Front 4 for Tuskegee, number 99, Terrence Mays. Once again, able to do their part. Not their fault that the Hornets have 34 points. Those guys up front have actually impressed me with the way they've been able to kind of control the line of scrimmage.
So Alabama State taking their time, running the football, looking to try to punch it in here from 1 yard out. And Alabama State spins their final timeout.
There's no foul for illegal substitution. Timeout was called for.
They called a timeout. Just to finish off that point, the very first college football
Alabama
game ever
State.
broadcast on ESPNU. You know what it was? I wasn't part of it.
No.
Miles and Stillman.
Really?
Who you messing with now? You want to try me again? It was Miles and Stillman.
I'm impressed. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, next week, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will be in Denver for Week 13 Monday Night Football matchup. Jameis Winston and the Browns take on Bo Nix and the 7-5 Broncos, 8 Eastern on ESPN and ESPN. But he finished his career in Oregon.
From Alabama.
Okay. See, you
From Alabama. So, okay. Way to come back. Way to come back.
3rd and goal from the 1. Kinsey trying to find room, has nowhere to go. And again, the front 4 holding tough for Tuskegee.
Absolutely, those guys there. This is a Division II line, but look at them winning their battles, and Tyler Wells comes unblocked. Number 40 able to disrupt behind the line of scrimmage. And this has to be frustrating to head coach Eddie Robinson. You know, defensive coaches, they like to be able to run the ball. Alabama State struggling against this game Tuskegee defensive front.
Man in motion. They hand it off once more, and Kinsey doesn't get in. It's going to be short, and a flag coming out on the far side as well.
There's a flag on the field.
Illegal formation. Offense. More than 4 players in the backfield. The penalties declined. The runner was short of the line to gain. First down, Tuskegee.
What a hold there for Tuskegee's defense. The Golden Tigers hold where needed. Well, uphill battle for Aaron James. His offense will start from their own 1 yard line when we return. Let's take a look at this Alabama State defense, top 3 in FCS, and they showed why throughout this ball game.
Well, as we mentioned, they swarm as one around here, and that's not just a phrase, it's a philosophy that they believe in. Ball carriers, beware. Quarterbacks, look out. This defense is aggressive, and they like to sting.
Raekwon Beal, who threw 2 interceptions, the second or the last coming off his hands into the arms of Amon Scarborough, and right there holding court, just following suit of what they've done all season as they lead the SWAC in all of those categories. And when you match up what they've done today, it's par for the course for Eddie Robinson's group.
And you know they're coming right now. Peel back, first down on the 1 yard line. They're thinking safety.
From their own 1, it's Hauser trying to get out and barely able to do so as Amon Scarborough is there on the tackle, and a flag flying out at the end of the play.
this is against Alabama State. It would be unfortunate because you can tell they were thinking about the safety, and this will help out Tuskegee a lot.
And Tuskegee has had a 99-yard drive already this season.
Foul. Hands to the face. Defense, number 94. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So that penalty there will really assist Tuskegee. Now they're back, not against the wall. A little bit more room to operate.
First defensive penalty for Alabama State. 1st and 10 for the Golden Tigers. The handoff, and that's to Rouser, and Rouser picks up about 3 on the play.
Take a look at the penalty, the hands to the face, and that looks like that was a little bit of a stalemate.
Looked like Jersey more than
Tough break for the Hornets. Let's see if Tuskegee can take advantage of it.
It was a 21-0 decision early on. Tuskegee was able to get a couple of field goals, but tacking on some more insurance has been Alabama State. And now with just over 6 minutes to go, the visitors here in Tuskegee, who has found their greatest effectiveness on the ground. I mean, if there was an area where you would say there was a win here today, it's the Golden Tigers and their ability to run the football. 139 yards amassed on the ground.
They've got some good running backs. I mean, the offensive line is adequate. We haven't seen a lot of quarterback sacks and tackles behind the line of scrimmage, but very impressed with the way their running backs run the football. They can really tote the rock.
142 yards after that last run. So here on 3rd and 4. And underneath, and just dropped in and out of the hands of the tight end, Johnny Gilbert.
Oh, you talk about a tough break for Raekwon Beal. They brought a cornerback blitz. This is the perfect call against a cornerback blitz. A tight end crossing the field with nothing in front of him. Nothing in front of him. That was the perfect call. That play would have been good for at least 40 to 50 yards because he had a blocker, and the tight end dropped the ball.
5 drops today for these Golden Tiger receivers. And you know, if Drayton Florence was looking on, to be like, oh.
Man, and Raekwon Beal's a better guy than me because I would have had some words for my tight end.
Robert McMahon on the return, trying to set something up, has a block from Phillips, goes inside out, and then how about Lorcan Ryans coming in to make the tackle, the punter on the play. But McMahon, 24 yards and into Tuskegee territory. Under 5 minutes to go here from the Gump. How about Lorcan Ryans getting in great position, saying, all right, baby, I'm going to bring it down. At this point on this Thanksgiving Day from ASU Stadium.
Dedicated fans, but the temperatures dropped, as you mentioned, when the sun went down. Things got a little chillier, and the wind has been constant.
The blankets coming out, just keep warm however you can. Up here, we're doing a lot of movement in the booth, you know?
Because it's an open booth.
Yeah. I feel you, sister, right here. Face underneath the blanket. And Javius Langford now in at quarterback, handles the low snap. And the handoff to the running back, and a short gain there as Kareem Key, we mentioned how great of a game he had. Now the junior out of Montgomery right here, hometown guy, and Langford takes over.
And that's what it's about. I mean, your team is going to win the game. You've been on the sideline. You've been the backup. It's a Turkey Day Classic. This is the highlight of this young man's career thus far. And it's so different when you're the backup quarterback. Little things like this, I mean, the last 4 minutes of a game in a blowout don't mean much. But to him, oh, man, to touch the field, Congratulations to you.
He'll feel even better if he can pick up this first down. Tries to run for it, but wrapped up immediately and brought down by Jarrell Colbreth. So now 4th down. It's 4th and 5 here as Langford looks to the sideline and the punting unit heads on.
With the respect the coaches have for each other, had Alabama State picked up the first down or made it short, they just would have kept possession of the ball just so they can run out the clock. Here, down 4th and 4, no need to show them up. Punt the ball away. Great respect between these two coaches.
Harrison Tuck just boots it. Stith trying to come up, instead lets it roll out. Great respect for coaches. Jay, you and I were here for that game a couple of years ago as it was homecoming, I believe, and Jackson State was in town, led by then head coach Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, and there was a little handshake ordeal after the game, and Eddie Robinson Jr. asked the question, well, who is SWAC? He said, I'm SWAC.
I'm
right?
SWAC. Oh, those were the times. I mean, it goes deep here. Let's not forget Coach Prime's first loss during that COVID season was here at Alabama State. And then when the teams always had tough matchups, Alabama State, Jackson State, I mean, that kind of goes to say something. You know, we know Eddie Robinson Jr. from the NFL. Coach Prime came from the NFL. Eddie George came from the NFL. The star power to HBCU football, and glad to say it hasn't left just because Coach Prime went to Colorado.
And Eddie Robinson Jr., we mentioned, played with the Tennessee Titans. Another former Titan will be trying to lead his team to a playoff win this weekend in Montana, as Eddie George trying to do it for Tennessee State.
Makes you think a guy like Jeff Fisher, who coached both of them, has to be proud of him. Jeff Fisher also coached Bubba McDowell, who is coaching at Prairie View.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 5, and we're closing in on the 2-minute timeout as Malik Davis looks to the sideline. And will they let it run down all the way to that 2-minute timeout? I think so.
And that's a respect we're talking about from the program. So even Aaron James knows what's taking place here, and we'll have other days. We're down by a lot, not going to hurry up, get to the line of scrimmage. We'll lick our wounds and keep it going. 34-6, State.
Welcome back here on this Thanksgiving Day. Jay Walker, Tiffany Green here with you, and happy to bring you a status update. As previously reported, Medrick Burnett Jr. is in stable condition currently. The Alabama A&M redshirt freshman from Lakewood, California, the linebacker who sustained a head injury during the Magic City Classic. He's been hospitalized since then. And we've gotten word that he is indeed okay and currently in stable condition. Certainly our prayers continue to go out to his family as he looks to recover.
And more prayers. The unfortunate part about the game, but just to give everybody the status update, last time we did a game here in Alabama, that was a situation.
It's 4th and 5 now as Tuskegee going to punt it away. Lorcan, who hails from Ireland, Limerick, Ireland. Sophomore who's been busy today puts it up again.
Humble.
And Tuskegee is going to come up with it. So Tuskegee recovers the football, and the excitement there you see from Joshua Fuentes.
The muff kick was recovered.
Ball was
by
muffed by Harrell.
First down, Tuskegee.
Fuentes gets it back for the Golden Tigers.
Well, we mentioned the wind has been blowing all game from left to right, so ball probably carried a little bit on McMinn, and ball's on the ground.
So now the ball on the 46-yard line as Zena Molba trotting back onto the field. And the play clock.
Might be a delayed game. You have to give them 5 seconds for the substitution, unless you call a timeout, which I believe Tuskegee just did.
Tuskegee, second at half.
Tuskegee takes the timeout, and this is the final home game for so many of these seniors. Rico Dozier, Amon Scarborough, some of the fantastic performers throughout this Alabama State program, and senior day was indeed a special one on the 100th Turkey Day Classic. Good news is Traquan Thomas is coming back.
He was not in that lineup, which is scary for the rest of the SWAC, but good news for Alabama State fans.
Could he be in contention for the SWAC Defensive Player of the Year?
Absolutely.
Here's Davis trying to avoid and couldn't get away from Traquan Thomas, adding to that total of sacks, leading the conference and one of the best in the nation in sacking the quarterback.
He just needed some attention. He just needed us to call his name so he could remind everybody who he is, what type of player that he.
First in the SWAC in sacks, forced fumbles. And that's another tackle for a loss, as the pass complete to Charles Talden. While there are a number of players from the state of Alabama for Tuskegee, we'd be remiss without mentioning just the fantastic academic institution that it is, the only HBCU with a veterinary program, outstanding aerospace engineering program as well. And this group from Tuskegee, Alabama, sees a second year in a row that they have fallen big to Alabama State. Once more being brought down is Malik Davis, and the party continues as this time it's Mr. Young, Shimon Young, along with Traquan Thomas, and that brings us to the close of the ball game. The 100th Turkey Day Classic brings a smile to the face of Eddie Robinson Jr. He was 4-0 as a player, and he's perfect in it as a head coach. A 34-6 victory for the Alabama State Hornets on this Thanksgiving Day.
Not the season that they wanted to have, but considering they went through 5 quarterbacks and still managed to win 7 football games this season during the campaign, not bad, and the future looks bright for Alabama State. Well, happy Thanksgiving, Tiff.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving,
to
partner.
you and the family, and to all of our families that sacrificed, to Aaron and Deuce and Bryson and your whole gang. Patsy.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, you got Patsy and Dale in there. One time for Monique and Janine. Can I say Jewel? Oh, yeah, I got it in there.
Got it in there. And hi, Mom. Thank you for even texting me. Good to see your picture today, Mama.
A time was had here in the renewal of this rivalry between Alabama State and Tuskegee. And Jay, an even 500 for this group, or 5-6 record overall for this Tuskegee group. They have a lot to build on, and there are going to be some pieces for Aaron James to work with in the future. and all the Alabama State Hornets continue to do since Eddie Robinson Jr. took over at his alma mater a couple of years ago is keep on churning out winning seasons. This one in convincing fashion here on this Thanksgiving Day. We say thank you to everyone who's tuned in to college football. So much to be thankful for, including our great crew. With my partner, Jay Walker, I'm Tiffany Green saying